So, Brooks, we're at the time of the year right after week 6, and we're starting to see some of these players, whether they're rookies or just guys on new teams, starting to make names for themselves and become fan favorites for new franchises. And I think we saw a lot of that this week, actually.
Yeah, I would say my franchise name now is Rico Daddle. That guy's a beast. That is the number one running back in the NFL right there.
There you go. So we'll talk about that and a lot more, but first, let's run it.
Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth. Nothing agreed. We have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned and buckle up.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys today. Week 6, currently still in the works, but we are now wrapping up the Sunday of Week 6. B-Dub, no Eagles football for you on a Sunday. How you feeling?
Thank God. Yeah. Honestly, they need a break and they need to get back together, get back on track. Offensive coordinator's got to go. Gonna keep saying it till it happens.
They didn't even play. We already talked about that. They didn't even play.
I know.
I was asking you a question.
You allowed this to happen. You asked me the question. I'm answering it.
I just said the Eagles aren't playing. And
I know, and I'm giving you an answer to it. They're not playing, and these are my thoughts on it. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Well, there you go. We had a plethora of games starting from 9:30 a.m. Eastern all the way ending around 11:30 Eastern. A big day for football. And it ultimately started, unless you want to get something out of the way.
No, because that's not how we do things around here. We start with the night. We're going to talk about Sunday Night Football first because that's what's most recent, and that's usually what's the best. And boy, do we have a story for y'all. Sunday Night Football, let's set the scene, right? The 2-3 Chiefs are hosting the red-hot 4-1 Detroit Lions, best team in the NFC. Chiefs are having a struggling start to the season. Everyone's starting to write them off. What do we do down in Arrowhead? Well, we dominate the NFC favorites on both sides of the ball for most of the game because that's exactly what they did. It was pretty close score-wise going into halftime, but I mean, I could easily say the Chiefs dominated every aspect of the ball in the second half. Offense, defense, special teams. The Lions were never in it. Their offense could not get anything going, and on the other side of the ball, their defense couldn't stop anything the Chiefs were doing. So, are we ready to say the Chiefs are back?
I've been preaching it. Like I said, if the Chiefs, with all the injuries in the first 6 games with Rice suspended, if they can go 3-3 or better, I even said 2-4, I'm okay with. But they went 3-3. Now they get another top wide receiver back, and Mahomes looked like the Mahomes that we know. Even without him, right? This game, he looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league that we know Mahomes to be. So now he's got the receiver back, 3-3. I think they're only the Broncos and Chargers are 4-2, so they're technically 1.5 back, and they still have a whole another 10 games left to play, 11 games left to play. I still think this could be the Kansas City Chiefs' division to lose.
Yeah, I don't know about back per se. I'm just kind of looking at their schedule. You look at the first 6 weeks, right? They had the Chargers and Brazil, lost that game.
Tough game.
Yeah, tough game. Let's call it how it is. First game of the season, Chargers came out swinging, caught them off guard. Then they go home, lose to the Eagles week 2. Probably should have won that game if Travis Kelce could catch a football. But
tough game.
Yeah, that was a bad loss as well. Beat the Giants in MetLife. Granted, that was a close game up until halftime, until the Chiefs just pulled away at the end. Maybe we would have liked to see that game with Jackson Dart playing. I don't know. But then you beat the crap out of the Ravens, who aren't good this season. Let's just call it how it is. You lose a late game thriller to the Jaguars at Monday Night Football last week. But now you come out and you beat the crap out of the Chiefs. That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. Pretty good start to the season. Like you said, 3-3. The losses, though, to the Jaguars and the Eagles, I know it was kind of late game scenarios, but those still kind of scare me. Those aren't the Chiefs teams of the past that we've seen in this league. So, yeah, looking forward, that would be kind of my one area of concern.
To me, those teams aren't like they're 2-4 scrubs where the Chiefs blew up. I mean, we're talking about teams that have both winning records, 4-2. So it's not like they're just bad teams. They technically have better records than the Chiefs.
You're right, but again, this is a Chiefs team who has Super Bowl aspirations, and those are two playoff teams as of right now. So maybe, but
And they just knocked off the playoff
you're
team,
right, and
the
that's what we're
NFC
talking, and that's what we're
Championship
talking
favorite.
about. So yeah, that's why I think it's good to see that they've reverted back to this level of competition. We know they can play at this level, so we'll see if they can keep doing it. But yeah,
Correct.
my point being is my one area of concern going forward is those late game scenarios. Two teams, playoff teams or not, because last year they went 11-0 in those scenarios, and this year not so lucky. So we'll just wait and see how this season plays out. Other side of the ball, Lions. I would argue last night was a big, and I have experience in this, so I can call it how it is. Last night was sort of the first, I'd say, spotlight on their coaching vacancies from this offseason. I didn't think the coaching on offense or defense was very great in the second half. I thought that, especially the offensive play calling, was pretty predictable. I wonder how I can know that. But yeah, I think they're starting to feel the loss of their coordinators a little bit in games sort of like this, because we know the talent's there. We saw the talent was there, but it just wasn't putting pen to paper.
Yeah, I also just good defense for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tough road game for the Lions. But like you said, this is the first time where I don't really technically think this is me saying they've lost their coordinators. They still have the pizzazz and the
Mm-hmm.
jazz of running their crazy trick plays. They just didn't execute perfectly when they should have. Like, for example, going for it on fourth down and Amon Ra, in my opinion, all the throws a little low. I think he should bring
Mm-hmm.
that in. Like stuff like that, right? I think it's
Right.
just execution. So I'm not really blaming on the coordinators. I think they just could have executed a little better.
That's fair. Yeah, just to me, it just looked like they weren't ready to go. And that kind of goes back to the coaching as well. Kind of like what you said, they still have that pizzazz. The Dan Campbell culture is still in place. We know that, but it's kind of those nitpicky little minute details that we don't notice, but makes the difference. I think that's
Yeah.
starting to affect the Lions a little bit. I think that was another reason they lost to the Packers in Week 1. But let's move on. Are we worried about the Lions moving forward? Now they're second in their division.
No.
Whether that's deserved or not, but yeah, we can move on then. Yeah, we started in London. You were right. Broncos Jets.
hmm Gosh, this game was a one that you wish you could have put the head back on the pillow and get your extra hours of sleep if you
Yeah,
really want to
I
sleep
didn't
in.
watch it.
Yeah, it was honestly, like I said, it's a London game. You don't know how it's gonna go. And unfortunately went the all under route.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets almost pulled out a victory with negative 10 net passing yards, the worst ever in their franchise. And Justin Fields only having like 50 total yards, and yet they still almost pulled it out. So good for them for almost pulling out. But at the end of the day, for their frustrations continue. That not running a play within those 30 seconds, Garrett Wilson blowing up against Aaron Glenn, totally valid. And ultimately, the Jets need a whole reset because now your defense actually played well this game, and your offense the one that sold you. So it's a give me this and I'll take away that
Well,
type
the
of team.
Jets offense to me has never seemed that good this season. They
Week
had
one they looked amazing.
yeah, but that's because I would argue, and I've said this on this show, that I would say that said a lot more about the Steelers' defense in Week 1 than it did the Jets' offense, and that was true for a couple weeks. But yeah, again, I don't have much to say on this game. I didn't watch it. I know the historical stat that you and I had more passing yards yesterday than the Jets did as a team. So yeah, not much to say. Broncos are 4-2. Jets are gonna have the first overall pick. Let's move on.
Mm.
Browns, Steelers. I'd say the Gabriel magic is probably gone.
Yeah.
Um,
Just for the 1 week though, don't
yeah.
have it overreact. Tough game in Pittsburgh with that pass rush can be a little bit difficult. And yeah, the Gabriel Magic kind of slipped away. But again,
19 completions on 52 attempts.
yeah,
Whew. Yeah, I mean, I could see they were not getting the run game going.
yeah, just was a bad week overall for the offense.
Yeah, not good at all for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, their defense didn't look like they did too well either. 23 points to the Steelers. I mean, that's not terrible, but Aaron Rodgers had 235, 21 for 30. Jalen Warren had 52. Kenneth Gainwell, 22.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would not say that's a good sign for the Browns. And yeah, like you, I think it was mainly I was higher on the Browns. I don't know if you were or not, but I was sat up here last week and said, "Hey, they can come out and give the Steelers some noise. They could. This division's not looking too great. They could get feisty in there, but I don't think that's the case anymore." So yeah, I think the next question for the Browns moving forward is how much longer do we give Dylan Gabriel before we see what our other rookie quarterback can do? Is that we giving Gabriel the whole season because he's the higher draft pick?
Just give him more games. We'll see what happens and see what he can put together. Because what kind of concerns me, and everyone's bringing up Shedeur Sanders, is like they don't even want to put him over Bailey Zappi sometimes, who's the practice squad quarterback. So that kind of says a little bit of what's happening behind the scenes.
Do you think it's all the politics and off
No,
the field and all
no,
that, or do you think the
no.
talent and
I
skill
think
comes
it's
into
talent.
it?
I think he could be a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He could prove me wrong, but the fact that you want to be named under Bailey Zappi, who was the practice squad QB at the time, gives me a little bit of concern.
Yeah, no, that's certainly fair criticism and levels of concern to address. So yeah, hope they can figure that out. Browns defense is really good, at least their defensive line. So it'd be a shame for this season to end in 2 or 3 wins. But Steelers moving forward, what are we thinking? Their division, they're gonna win it. You don't think anyone's gonna challenge them?
No, it's their division. If they slip up, it's on them, which they usually do in the late season. But the division is wide open for them. I mean, the Bengals are bad; they don't have Burrow anymore. The Browns are bad, and the Ravens are injured and bad. So this is their division.
All right, we'll see how they can. Well, they'll do moving forward. But yeah, like you said, kind of the most freest path to the playoffs I've ever seen in recent memory. So
yeah,
lucky Ducks. Almost had an upset alert here. Chargers Dolphins down in Miami.
Chargers are giving me a little bit of scary times, but I think anytime you can get a road victory, it's always a good victory.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the Miami warmth kind of gives the boys like +10 all attributes compared to if they play on the road. So
It's true.
good win
he's
for the
not
Chargers. A little more disappointing, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but still a good win for the Chargers, particularly because they needed that win. It was a good win, and they were banged up on offense. So they got it banged up on offense, 29 points, get the job done. Good job for the Chargers. They needed that win, but they had to leave Miami with a win.
Yeah, it's good too because this is a Chargers offense who, at least last year, I haven't seen enough this year to really say, but last year their identity was ground and pound football. We're gonna beat you with our running game. We're gonna beat you on defense. They're down their 2 starting running backs. Forgive me if I'm saying the first name wrong, but is it Kamani Vidal?
Yeah,
Kamani Vidal, great game. Like we kind of talked about earlier, one of those newer guys, younger rookies coming into the league, making his name known for the Chargers fan base. I mean, I'm sure they love him now. So, like you said, great win to come out when you kind of, I guess it was a narrow victory for the Chargers. You go into enemy territory, you come out with a win. But yeah, they were down. Quentin Johnson as well. So Lad McConkey, he had his first big game of the season. So shout out to him. But yeah, I mean, look at the Dolphins. You had a good offensive showing. I'm looking at the stats here. 2 of his 3 interceptions aren't going to help you, but Devon Achane had a great day on the ground. 1 touchdown pass to Jonnu Smith. That's kind of another guy who's making his name known amongst Dolphins fans. What is it, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, something like that?
Yep.
So he's proven to be some sort of life or revitalization for the Dolphins. But all that being said, let's blow it up. It's over. You got Tua Tagovailoa talking about how players aren't even showing up to players-only meetings. You have countless interviews with ex-players and ex-coaches talking about how bad the culture is down there.
But he also had an ex-player come out and said Tua is also late to the player-only meetings.
Yeah, exactly.
Like his first player-only meeting when he's a quarterback, he missed it. It's like, bro. So
the
whole thing starts top down.
Let's get rid of the general manager, then the whole team, and then Mike McDaniel. So then the Eagles can call Mike McDaniel and say, "Hey, we have this offensive consultant role for you, if you want to come win a Super Bowl." So praying for that. But yeah, team's got to go. Let's trade Jalen Waddle. Let's trade Javon Achane. Honestly, if any team wants him, let's trade Tua if they want to try and revitalize his career. But looks like it's over for the Miami Dolphins, at least this iteration of the core team.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Another surprisingly kind of close game, Saints-Patriots.
No, not to me. Like I said, this is not surprising to me. Anytime the Saints play in the Superdome, it's always a good place to play at home for them and a tough place to play on the road. But Drake May was cooking this game. It was a
Mm-hmm.
Drake May week, in my opinion. You watch the game, you look at the box score a little bit. It says it with the 3 touchdowns, but the plays he was making, especially because Diggs wasn't a factor this game. Drake
Oh, I
May hit
know.
other people as well. Yeah, I
Well
know as well.
aware.
Don't worry. But Drake May, what a game for him, especially to go on the road in New Orleans, get the win. Like I said, it would be a close game. Patriots 3-0 on the road this year.
3-0, yeah. Hot start for the Patriots. I know they're all getting really excited again. And again, I was one of those guys who was a big Patriots guy in the offseason. But that's one of the points I want to bring up this episode. I do think it's a little early to completely jump on the Patriots hype train. Just look at their schedule, right? Week 1, lost to the Raiders. Again, it's a week 1 game. Not much can be said about those, but still, Raiders are terrible. Let's just call it how it is. Lost at home to the Raiders. Then you narrowly beat the Dolphins on the road again, in Miami, week 2. Then you lose that close game to the Steelers. We all know how that was for you. Then you beat the Panthers, who also we'll get to that in a minute, but not a great football team. Then you beat the Bills. I would say that's their one good win. And then you beat the Saints, who again is a team you should have beat. So what it looks like to me, right? And they're 4-2, right, through the first 4-6 weeks. I see 1 good quality win and 2 bad losses along 3 games you should have won. So to me, that looks like a team that has the potential to be great come into the season, one of those top dogs, be in the playoffs. But right now, it's a little too early in my opinion, because you beat the one good team on your schedule, yeah, but you've also lost to the worst team, or arguably one of the worst teams on your schedule. So let's see how they do. They have the Titans next week, and then the Browns, and then the Falcons before they have to go play the Patriots. So should be a nice little 3-game stint for them before they have to play some competition.
Wait, who plays the Titans and the Browns?
The Patriots.
Okay, sorry. You said they're playing the Titans, the Browns, the Falcons, and then they're playing the Patriots.
Oh, sorry, the Buccaneers. My bad.
Okay, all right.
Sorry. Yep.
Wow.
This is why Brooks is here, guys. He's got to catch me.
Yeah.
And stuff like
What
this.
the hell?
So yeah, they play the Titans, Browns, Falcons, which are 3 pretty good games for them before they have to go into Tampa Bay and play the Buccaneers. So now, if they can beat the Buccaneers and go 4-0 in these next 4 weeks, then yeah, I'll buy in. They're the best team in the AFC West or the AFC East, up there with the Bills, and they're gonna be a playoff contender. But let's slow the roll. This is my whole point. Do you have anything you want to say on the Patriots? I mean, I've kind of been
they're 3-0 on the road. I think they're playing well, and they bounced back from the start of the season, and they're 4-2. So, yeah, looking like the playoff team that everyone thought they would be going to the season, or at least majority.
So yeah, we'll see how they do going forward. Saints. Spencer Rattler really didn't have that bad of a game. It's just team's bad. Let's move on.
I mean, Alvin Kamara had 31 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I'll let you do this one though. Ravens, Rams. Go for it.
Wow. Okay, you're gonna let me do this one. Derrick Henry had over 100 yards rushing. They actually gave him the ball more than 6 times in the game, which made me happy. Yet they only scored 3 points. Yeah, still the Ravens being disappointing, and the Rams, even with Puka Nacua, who had to go off for a little bit, come back in, questionable to return, comes back in. They still look good. At least handling business. There were still a lot of scary moments for that offense, knowing it was 3-3 at halftime. But yeah, got the job done, did what they needed to. And yeah, all I gotta say is good for the Rams to get the win, but I think the Ravens are now,
over.
This
It's
gotta be
1-5.
one of the best comebacks of all time. So
It's 1-5. Lamar's not coming back for 2 more weeks.
well,
I'm just
no,
looking at
they have a bye week this upcoming week, and then he's coming back. So he's
Oh,
back next game.
okay.
He's back next game.
Against the Bears.
And I think honestly, I think if Lamar's back against the Bears, I think they're the favorites in that game.
I mean, they have. I mean, looking at the rest of their schedule, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. They have the Bears, then the Dolphins, then the Vikings, then the Browns, then the Jets, then the Bengals, then they have the Steelers, Bengals again, then they have the Patriots, then they have the Packers, and then the Steelers again. So it's a kind of rough little end to the schedule, but this
Yeah.
next 6 weeks, you should. If they lose one of these games, then yeah, we're
games
gonna.
you can compete in. All games
You need to win all of these games.
All games you can compete.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, you just looked at this team with Lamar Jackson. They weren't winning games. John Harbaugh is probably going to get fired. If Penn State and James Franklin from yesterday told us anything, is that no one's job is safe at any point in any season.
That's not true. I don't know what Penn State you've been looking at, but that's not true.
I know. But to some people, that's kind of their reaction. But
no, but Harbaugh should not. So. We already know how I feel about Harbaugh. So
I mean, he should get fired. But Rams, like to see the situational football cleaned up if you want to contend in the playoffs. Because if not, you're losing round one. But let's move on. I'll let you do this one again because I feel like I've been talking a lot. So I'll give you a good one. Seahawks, Jaguars.
Sam Darnold. Thank you. But most
JSN, thank you.
I was going to say that. JSN looks like he's going to be in the arguments now at the end of the season, or even now as a top 5. People are going to argue he's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion.
He's number 1 right now. He's on 2 of my 3 fantasy leagues, so he's number 1 in my eyes.
He ain't number 1 in my opinion.
Better than Jamar Chase. Better than Justin Jefferson. I think there's a real conversation now. Is Ohio State produce better receivers than LSU? I don't know.
But you didn't mention the real number 1 wide receiver this season, which is Puka Nacua.
I know.
But next question. It was good to see that movement. Jags, man. Cam Little. Come on, man. Come on, Cam Little. But other than that, I mean, Seahawks getting it done once again. And again, I find it surprising this year that they're 3-0 on the road when they play at the 12th man. I mean, I find that hilarious. But other than that, good for the Seahawks to get the job done. And again, NFC West with that Niners loss, who do you have? And now Fred Warner out. I guess we'll get to that. But Seahawks favorites to win the NFC West or Rams? It's going now down to those two, in my opinion, with all these injuries the Niners are picking up.
Well, I can tell you who won't be winning that division because they didn't win yesterday either, and that's the Cardinals losing to the Colts. Lost by 4. Kind of a close game though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a close game.
Yeah, but no Kyler Murray. Who did they even start? I don't even remember. Jacoby Brissett. There you go. That's a name. 320. Wow. Yeah, just wasn't enough against Indiana
this is maybe
Jones.
A very niche reference, but that is Madden 20 Jacoby Brissett going out there and playing football.
Ultimate
my
team.
Goodness. Madden 20 Jacoby Brissett would always win MVP for some reason, and he looked like a great quarterback today. It kind of scares me with how Kyler has been playing. But yeah, another good win for the Colts, 4-0 at home, 5-1. Jonathan Taylor, another big game. They just get the job done week in, week out, and they are they top of the AFC?
Yep.
That is crazy. Top of the AFC through 6 weeks would not be my betting pick right now to finish the top of the AFC at all. But
maybe.
No, I'm not.
Let me look at their schedule.
You would say
You gotta remember
them to be top of the AFC over the Bills?
Well, it's talking about schedule. We gotta look at records, right? They have the Chargers next week in LA, so that's a home game for them.
That could be a loss. Yep.
That could be a loss. You're right. Then they play the Titans.
Oh yeah, that's a win.
Then they have the Steelers. That could go either way.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh. Okay, so maybe not.
Steelers.
Then they got to go to Berlin to play your Falcons.
I like the Falcons, baby.
Of course you do. They should win that game. Then they have to go to Arrowhead. I don't think they win that game.
Exactly. See how they're building up?
Hold on. I'm not done. They should beat the Texans. Jaguars will be a good game.
Yep.
Seahawks will be a good game, considering they're still hot. They should beat the 49ers.
All right, you're on the entire damn schedule. But look,
I know.
just go through the next couple games for the Bills. Ready? They got the Falcons. We'll talk about that game. They got the Panthers. Probably should win that game. They got the
Okay,
Chiefs at home, and they always get the number of the Chiefs.
That's
They got the
true.
Dolphins on the road. That's a win. Bucks at home. I like them in that game over the Buccaneers. They got the Texans on the road. I like them in that game. Steelers on the road could be a tough one. But like those games, you're gonna take the Bills over the other teams.
And they have to go to Philadelphia at the end of the season.
And I'll take the Bills over the Eagles according to you. If you go off your logic.
For right now,
So, and they don't have to
see
go
how
to
we look
Philadelphia.
at
They play in Buffalo.
Oh, they play in
So,
Buffalo?
They play in Buffalo.
Ah, fuck.
So, yeah, I like the Bills in a lot. The Bills are gonna be favored every game they touch probably,
They play in Buffalo?
and as they should be.
What the hell? I thought
Second to last game. At
Dude, I
home.
could have sworn they played in Philadelphia.
Nope.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Lions. My bad. Let's move on. The Lions have
God,
to
you
come
and
to.
mixing up teams is like a.
Well, they're both blue and good. Sorry. Regardless, the Lions have to come to Philadelphia. Got lost. We lost. Hold on. I think it seems we lost Brooks, so we'll stand by for some technical difficulties. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that. Brooks and I were having some technical difficulties. Wi-Fi is
Baron
not
was
the
having
greatest.
some technical difficulties.
Yeah, this time. Regardless,
They're trying to lump me into his technical
well, it doesn't
difficulties.
because it doesn't look like it's my fault from my end. Anyway, let's move on. We got to talk about the greatest 1:00 game this week. The Dallas Cowboys came down to Charlotte, North Carolina. Thought they would walk out with an easy W, and that was not the case.
Well, they played in one of the hardest stadiums to play in at the 3-0 at home now. Panthers undefeated at home, baby. They're making Bank of America Stadium a fortress in Charlotte, North Carolina. I mean, think about it. The Panthers are 3-0 at home. They're 3-3. I don't remember the last time they've had a record 500 this far into the season. It's got to be at least 5+ years, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But
No,
it just
absolutely.
feels that way. And I mean, this is a Panthers team that Bryce Young, ever since, I mean, he's been looking better. Enrico Dowdle might be the greatest running back to ever touch a field ever in NFL history. I mean, Prime Saquon has nothing on Rico Dowdle right now. This is insane.
He told the Cowboys to strap in, and they did not strap in. 200 yards for the second time in a row, mind you. I don't think he reached the end zone this game. He might have. I don't quite remember, but it doesn't matter because he dominated them. Again, one of those guys who's making a name for himself over there in Charlotte. We don't say Carolina down here. That's the Charlotte Panthers, just FYI. But because they've been terrible for the last 8 and 10 years. We don't like them. Anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Rico Dowdle. Making a name for himself in those households, right? Found a new team, got some new love. Juba Hubbard, they're going to be a nice 1-2 combo. Dallas, what are we doing? Losing to the Panthers? I mean, I thought the highlight of your season was tying.
Let's talk about
Green
these
Bay
4
Packers.
o'clocks
This
while
easily
our
gotta be the
technology
low light.
wants to keep working.
Quickly, season's
do a
over.
lightning round.
Enjoy
Raiders,
your Titans.
Little victories
here
Raiders
and
finally
now.
get
Don't
that
worry
dub,
about the
baby.
Eagles.
There you
We have
go.
our own things to worry about.
Michael
Worry
Meyer
about your
fantasy
own team,
owners,
Dallas
we're
fans.
up.
Let's go. We are living good, so hopefully
Also,
Brock Bowers.
Cam Ward also had a pretty good game, in my opinion, with the completion percentage, getting Van Jefferson a couple yards, and Ashton Genty as well had a pretty good game. So the rookie's showing out, even though this was kind of a dumpster of a game.
Yeah, and Trey Tucker. I also have him. I just traded for him, or he was part of a trade for me in fantasy. So good to see him doing some production. Like you said before, Jacoby Myers. Let's find him a new team.
New home, but yep.
Yes, sir. But yeah, Michael Myers, maybe find him a new home too, or at least use him some more, please. But we'll see what happens. Another great game, probably best game from the slate. 49ers, Buccaneers.
Mac Jones threw for a lot of yards, couple turnovers, but the Buccaneers are sacrificing players just to get wins. So eventually, in my opinion.
But right now, they're the best team in the NFC. And, I mean, that's pretty exciting. When's the last time they could say that? Since they had Tom Brady, now they're doing it with Baker Mayfield. That's pretty cool, even though
When was the last time they said that? I don't know. When they won the Super Bowl? Like,
it's
you're acting
true.
like it was like 100 years ago.
It's
No.
true. But, yeah, it's It's exciting. I mean, top of the entire NFC when you have the Lions, the Packers, the Eagles, the Rams. Yeah, good for the
Exactly. Pretty
Buccaneers.
much when
Their
you're gonna
wide
fall down.
receiver room suffering. But I think it's easily the best in the NFL. I don't think you could doubt that. I mean, did we all see that catch from Trey Tucker? Not Trey Tucker. Tez Johnson. That was crazy. So yeah, Buccaneers looked great. First time they got to take victory formation this season, so shout out to them. But 49ers.
Not a
Season's
problem
over.
with me. Not a problem. Fuck no. Not a
All
problem with me.
right.
4-2.
Too many.
Mac Jones looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Kendrick
too
Bourne
many.
looks like next to Julio. Come on now.
I don't know. He kind of looked more like Mac Jones in this game to me than he did all other games this season that he played. So to me, it seems like we're kind of falling back to earth a little. I mean, 347 is good, but some bad throws, bad decisions, bad. I mean, two interceptions. I only saw the late one. That wasn't good. So need to clean that up if you want to stay competitive in this division. But to me, with all the injuries and just, I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter if you have Mac Jones or Brock Purdy and you're going to get the same result, and it's just not good enough. So to me, I don't think they're going any further than like 9th or 8th seed, but we'll see. Maybe they could sneak into the 7th and lose round 1. But Joe Flacco cannot get it done in his second time around. He's 1-1 against the Packers this season. Packers get a win coming off the bye, and then the tie before that. So first win in them for 2 weeks. Pretty exciting, and they got their revenge on Joe Flacco. So, any takeaways from that game? The Bengals' offense looked a little more watchable, exciting.
More life to it.
Yeah,
especially because the Packers' defense we thought was really good. Now a little more wishy-washy in our eyes, but yeah, I good to see Joe Flacco get some things done. But eventually, this is the Packers at home in Lambeau and a good NFL team. That's what we expected.
Yeah, Jordan Love game from him. 19 for 26, 259, touchdown, interception. About what you would expect. Josh Jacobs also about what you'd expect. So good bounce back game for the Packers. The second in the NFC right now, at top of their division because of their one loss. So we'll keep our eyes on them, but it's starting to look a little bit. Things are swinging on for the upward for those cheeseheads. But we've got 2 Monday night games to talk about tonight.
They need to stop doing this.
And for some reason, Brooks, we keep forgetting Thursday night football the week before, so we got to talk about that too.
Let's lighten it so we don't break something in the middle of talking about it.
Yeah, you're right. So let's start with Bills taking on your Falcons at 7:30 or 7:15 tonight.
I like the Bills this game, of course, but I'm a Falcons fan, so I'm gonna be optimistic. But the Bills are the Bills; they're coming off a loss as well, which doesn't make me happy. Because I feel like that's getting more motivation. But we're coming on a bye week, so hopefully we have more time to prepare and look at that game a little tougher and see why Drake May succeeded. But if I'm being unbiased, this is the Bills' game to lose. But I think this will be a rowdy Falcons crowd. This is where the Falcons crowd gets really good. So
yeah, with their full bellies and all.
Yes, sir, baby. Best food in the league.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the Bills' game to lose. They're certainly the better team, coming off a bad loss to the Patriots.
Whew.
I've kind of been saying this though, and you said they don't need it, but I'm kind of under that impression that the Bills need a guy to kind of step out in that receiver room when times get tough. So we'll see if one of their guys can step up this game. Maybe they won't need it. Maybe they will. But I feel like that was kind of the one thing they were missing against the Patriots. So we'll see. I like the Bills, though, in this game, though. But we'll see what the Falcons can do. I like the shout. They're definitely a young, surprising team. I know they're your team. But that defense, they can play really well. We'll see how they do. And, I mean, just give the ball to Bijan Robinson. It's not that hard. Throw it to him, pass it to him, hand it off to him. Put him in the screen game. Just let him return kicks. Just let him do anything. He's clearly the best offensive player on that team. So just let him go crazy. Bears and Commanders are taking over an hour later at 8:15. Bears coming off their bye week. I forgot who they beat the week prior to that, but it was a big win for them.
Yes.
So
they beat. I'm pretty sure it was at the Raiders game. That was the Raiders game where they had the field goal. Nope, I got it. Raiders game 25-24.
There you go.
But other than that, I think my one prediction is I think it's going to be a shootout. I really think this has the high potential of being a shootout.
I hope so.
Um, and I have Caleb
DJ
Williams in
Moore.
2 of my fantasy leagues, so hopefully he can do something. I'm still going to take Washington in this game.
Yeah, I need DJ Moore to get like 15 to 20 points if I want to win my league. So that's possible. He hasn't had a big game yet this season, so hopefully
True.
this is the DJ Moore game. But Commanders, do they have Terry McLaurin? Is he back in this game? I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right. So Debo Samuel and Jaden Daniels are going to have to get it done again with like Luke McCaffrey and I forget their other receiver's name. But Bill, maybe Bill will do something crazy this week. I don't know. He had a big game. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago that he had the big game?
Last week.
All right, last week. All right, well, we'll see what they can do. Now, since we won't have another NFL episode out before this game, and we keep forgetting to do this, we got to talk about next week's Thursday Night Football game. And Steelers-Bengals.
This is the game the Bengals win. They're 5.5-point underdogs. They win this game. It's not gonna be my dog of the day.
Yeah, we're not even doing that yet.
We do Fridays for dog of the day, so I'm not allowed to do it. But Mike Tomlin's one of the worst coaches on Thursday Night Footballs. One of the worst coaches on Thursday Night Football divisional games. I'm gonna take the Bengals
And the
get their
jungle.
first win in the jungle under Joe Flacco in a divisional game, which makes me a little more confident that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I thought maybe the Bengals, I mean, they looked kind of, at least in the second half, they look like they have what it takes to put together a solid offense for a whole game. I know they're still getting used to each other and such, but I think, yeah, kind of like you said, I think this speaks more about, like you said, Mike Tomlin, not the best in Thursday Night Football games, not the best in Thursday Night Football games against the division. And we also know Mike Tomlin's famous for his never losing record, but it's always 8-9, and the Steelers are starting to get dangerously far away from 500. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think this is the
Reel 'em
game.
back in, baby.
Yeah, I think this is the game they lose. I don't know. Their defense is starting to get a little banged up, so we'll see if that plays a big factor into it. But they've certainly been playing better each week as we go along. So we'll see if that continues. But is there anything else you would like to add?
Love and affection to all those who listen.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. Nothing. No sports comments. Do you want to briefly talk about James Franklin? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a big thing.
Yeah, I can talk about James Franklin. I think he was deserved. Unfortunately, I think he's a really not okay. This is fortunate and good. He's a really good person. He's a great person. But unfortunately, just the program hasn't worked out like it should, and I think ultimately the coaching change was necessary, and needed to happen. Now, a lot of people are saying some names I don't think should be coach. One name that really hasn't been mentioned that I think honestly should get a look at coach, Fran Brown of Syracuse. I think should really get a look at the head coaching job of Penn State. My top three, in my opinion, for just how college football is turning and the coaches you want. You want guys who can motivate a locker room and connect with the young guys. Give me either Kurt Signetti of Indiana, Kenny Dillingham of Arizona State, or Fran Brown of Syracuse. And I kind of like Fran Brown of Syracuse, baby. So give me Fran Brown.
Hopefully we can hold off on him so we can come to another orange team.
Yeah, but oh wow, what a pull right there. But I think Fran Brown would be an amazing hire if he was going to Penn State. Kurt Signetti, I think, is more of the game strategist, but I think Fran Brown's more the recruiter. So
you don't think we see any? And this is, I guess, my big question because if this doesn't work out very ever.
I don't think they're going to do a mid-season hire. I think if they're to hire someone, that would be like they'd maybe hire mid-season, but they don't come until next year.
Well, that's not where I was going with that. My question is, again, just putting this out there, this doesn't really work almost ever, so I could see why not. But you don't think they're going to ever take a look at an NFL guy, some coordinator, some lineman coach, something?
I think they can, but I think just with the way college football is turning, you want a guy who has been proven to do two things, which is recruit with lower NIL and then win football games against better teams. Those are the two things, in my opinion, I would look at if I was a coach of a high team. Because if he can recruit with less, think about what he can do with more, and if he can
Right.
win the big ball games, especially with less, he can win the big ball games with more. That's the one thing with James Franklin was that he could recruit, but he couldn't win the big games. So you want a guy that can win the big games. So if they went Kurt Signetti because he is known for his signature wins, I mean, look at the Oregon win he had this past weekend. Number 3 Oregon undefeated goes into Eugene all the way from Indiana, from Bloomington, gets the dub. I think that's a coach they could get just because he's a signature winner, at least in the last couple of years. He's had a lot of signature wins, and that's the thing they struggled on. But I think if you want the package, go get Fran Brown or Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, but I guess my other question is, if you wait to the end of the season, what if those programs are in prestigious bowl games? What if one of them's even in the I mean, I'm sure one of them will be, but yeah, they're in the college football playoffs competing for a national championship. You sure those team coaches would just want to jump ship immediately after building up a big program? All right.
Yep. Because it's just how it is. I mean,
no, you're right. Absolutely, you're right.
I mean, it's tough to compare to pro sports because pro sports always has the factor, and this is where I wish I could compare it to soccer because soccer always has the top dogs. But if you take a guy from a mid-major program and you could join the 6-6 Penn State Nittany Lions, although Penn State's not good this year. They're just known as a historic program, right? So that's why people would join them. Like if Georgia or if Bama sucked, right? During Bama's opening, if they sucked, people would still want to go to Bama because it's Bama, you know?
Right.
So that's what it's like.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's definitely not like it is in the NFL. In the NFL, you can kind of pick and choose, or all jobs are kind of the same, I guess. But
I wouldn't say that. It's like
I mean, there's definitely some that are higher that sought after than others.
It's just there's a lot more turnover. So
yeah, you're right.
You're going to be good, bad, whatever you can be. So
I know the NFL should have more standard on the coaching openings. I mean, I know I'm ranting again, but I think the Philadelphia Eagles offensive head coaching position should have been the most sought after of all coordinators coming off a Super Bowl win. Are you kidding me? I mean, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni have promoted 2 offensive coordinators to head coaches in this league. That should be a very sought after job, but it just really isn't compared to some of the other jobs in the league. That's just how I think about it. Right?
Your franchise made that decision. So
I know. I'm well aware.
Your franchise and not the opening. So
I am. Don't worry. But kind of going back to my point on the college coaches and the NFL guys coming down, like I said, it doesn't really work out. And I think the most obvious example right now is Bill Belichick over at UNC, even though I think that's a completely different issue than who the coach is. But, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see who Penn State wants to look at. I think, like you said, they'll probably stay in college football. It's just the way it works now. Not a lot of outside guys really understand anymore. And like you said, you got to be good at winning games. You got to be good at recruiting with low money because top schools have that money. And if you can get good players to come with not a lot, then you've got some talent to you. My one thing to the University of Pennsylvania, or the whatever it is, Pennsylvania State, whatever. If you are looking for someone local with some NFL experience and some championship experience, there is a offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles who y'all would love. So
somehow you turned it from talking about the offensive coordinator to the Eagles, and then you said, let's completely change the subject. And somehow within a minute, you went back to the offensive coordinator of the Eagles. So that'll be another episode. Nothing agreed.
Well, hold on. I have one more thing to say. It's about the offensive coordinator of the Eagles.
That'll be another episode. Thank you all so much for listening. What would you say is your big surprise from this week, and who, in your opinion, is the best team in the NFL? Let us know down in the comments. Other than that, thank you all so much for listening, and peace.